For you to get to the top in any profession, whether it's banking or it's the legal profession, medical profession, sports, I think a few key ingredients are necessary. The first one is, of course, a drive to succeed. There must be that internal drive, that energy, that passion that really propels you to, to do what it takes to succeed in your career. The second element is there must be hard work. I think there's no profession where you can get to the top by idling or by being lazy. There must be that hard work, that discipline to be able to put in the long hours that are necessary for you to get to the top. The third element, which I think is very, very critical, is to have integrity and strong moral values. That is what it takes for you to stay at the top. You see, the first one can get you to the top, but for you to stay at the top, I think you need integrity, you need moral values, otherwise you end up destroying yourself.
It's a very broad question for me, because obviously the story has been around for quite a while, but I think it's focus. Do the things you think you're capable of doing, do them well, and don't do too many things. And then set a target to do them. So, to recap it, 1, focus. 2, be sure what you want to do and like what you do. And that's what I think is how to get to anywhere you want, let alone to the top.
Let's identify some of the obstacles that I would call artificial ones. Just generally, there are artificial barriers. It could be gender, it could be ethnicity, it could be religion. These are artificial barriers that prevent people from reaching their full potential. So for instance, you might be in an organization where somehow if you belong to a particular ethnic group, there's a limit to how far you can go. There's some sort of a glass ceiling. But these are artificial barriers, and I think over time one can actually overcome those ones. But I think the biggest barrier to success really lies in our own mind. It's what you believe. What are your own internal limitations? What limits do you place on yourself? That, I think, is the biggest obstacle to success. If you really believe in yourself, if you really believe in the cause or what you want to do, there's absolutely very little that can stay in your way. So I think the barriers in our mind are really the biggest obstacle to success. The other thing that I would mention is it's important to treat other people fairly, to treat other people with justice. Because again, as you're going to the top, remember the old adage that the people that you meet on your way to the top are the people that you meet on your way down. So it's important to treat people fairly. And importantly, I think for you to succeed in anything, you need people. In fact, that is one of the key lessons that people have to understand, that to succeed, you need other people to help you. Very, very few of us can say we've succeeded by our own efforts and by our own ability. There's always that element of somebody seeing the potential in you, believing in you, and giving you that extra push which helps you to reach your goal.
I believe that the bottlenecks are always there, because if you are aiming to go to the top, which everybody should aim for, the bottlenecks are in everyday work. There are people who obviously will compete with you. That's a bottleneck. There are things that will happen to you, like systems, for example, that might not work. You might want to go faster than the others. But I think that the bottlenecks are largely eliminated if you are focused on what you want to do. I do not normally like to look at the bottlenecks. I would like to look at challenges which then you have an opportunity to overcome, and then when you overcome them, you find that there is a lot of satisfaction. Because if, for example, you were running a race on your own, and you go to the end, there's nothing to be proud about. But if you're running against other guys, then you beat the guys, then that's when you get the satisfaction. So I think that, obstacles should be looked at as opportunities to excel rather than bottlenecks to prevent you from getting to where you want to go.
Okay, let's break it down. In terms of technical skills, that's a given. For you to succeed in any profession, say being a surgeon, of course you have to have the technical skills of being a surgeon, a banker, an athlete. So technical skills are very, very important. You need to really equip yourself well. So that's where the training and education and everything comes in. Now the important one that differentiates people is the attitude, and that's what they call the aptitude and attitude. I think aptitude is fine, that's your talent and so on. The attitude really is what how you perceive your life, or how you perceive your goals and what you do to get to your goals. So attitude is very, very important. Now you've mentioned skills, attitude, and the lifestyle. Lifestyle, to be quite honest, I think there is this belief that leaders have to fit a certain mold. I don't subscribe to that theory. If you look at the spectrum, you've got leaders that cut across the full spectrum. There are those that are very quiet, introvert, but very effective in their own ways. There are those that are very loud, very outspoken, very charismatic, effective in their own ways. So I don't think one can really prescribe and say that to be an effective leader, you must you must be a particular type. Okay, be yourself. Okay, be yourself, but have those core, I would say, pillars which are necessary to be an effective leader. And to me, those core pillars are 4 in number. The first one is, of course, vision. There's no leader that you can point to that doesn't have vision. Something that he really passionately believes in, something that he's driving towards, something that he can communicate and get others to believe in and move along with him. So vision is absolutely indispensable. The second one is a passion for people. Leadership by definition is having followers. Otherwise, you're not a leader. You've got to have people that believe in you, that follow you. So you must have the passion for those people. You must care for them. You must be able to put their interests first. Successful leaders are people who somehow they show the care that they have for their people, and because of that, the followers also put the interest of the leader, and therefore the leader is able to succeed. So a passion for people is important. The third element is you have to deliver results. All said and done, the reason why you're chosen among many is because people expect you to deliver results. So if it is a bank, in my position, I've got to be able to deliver the results to my shareholders, to the staff, to all the other stakeholders that is expected. And the final one is, again, the integrity aspect. You can have all those 3 and you can rise to the top. Without integrity, you are going to destroy yourself. You're going to destroy your organization, you're going to destroy yourself. And we've seen so many examples of that. If you see a big organization like Enron, what made it collapse is the lack of integrity at the very top of the organization, where leaders get to forge figures and manipulate numbers and so on, and you bring down the biggest organization to its knees. So integrity is very important. So I would say that if you have those core pillars, really, whether you are very quiet or very loud or whatever, it doesn't really matter. Have vision, care for your people, deliver results, and have integrity.
All the time, I've told people, I think that qualifications, I'll talk from the beginning. A lot of people like to refer to people's qualifications. A lot of people like to refer to people's skills. A lot of people like to refer to attitude. The largest ingredient for me is actually attitude. Because if you got the right attitude, then it doesn't matter if you have the skills, because the skills come when you do something over and over again. If you've got the right attitude with an opportunity to learn everything, then your skills will be enhanced. A lot of people tend to look at qualifications. I personally don't like qualifications. I like to talk to a guy. If he's got the right attitude and is therefore in a position to then learn, then that's a gem. That's a gem that needs to be, you know, smoothened so that this gem can then become the real diamond.
I think from a personal level, I think it is treating people fairly. I've learned that that is one of the most important things that you can do. Some call it the golden rule. Treat others the way you'd like to be treated. I think if you have that as a core value or as a core principle, really, I mean, it helps you to succeed. Now, from a management point of view, I think it's important to have vision. It's important that an organization has a sense of direction. The strategy is very clear, and you can get people to be committed to delivering that. Without that, I think you know, there's always room for disaster.
If you've got success, what was it that you did well that helped you to succeed? But I think that there are more lessons to be learned through failure, right? And as I said, on my personal life, I found that I failed in a personal relationship, which led me to, when I got into another relationship, relationship, I was able then to succeed. And I believe that the lessons out of the old failure have actually helped me to succeed on the personal life, on my marriage side. On the business side, I always look at one credit decision that I didn't do, you know, about 6, 7, 8 years ago. That decision was based on the fact that I hadn't been able to experience the market. Our market was changing, and I had not been aware that the market was changing. And I said no to that decision, and I found that it was the wrong decision. I think I can give a bit of details, given that I've actually quoted this situation. A customer walked into my office and wanted to borrow money to set up a mineral water factory. At the time, because I hadn't traveled, I had been here in Uganda, I was not aware that people can actually buy and drink mineral water. And I said at the time that it wasn't a good decision to do, so I didn't lend the money. But this customer went to another bank, they lent him the money, and he now happens to be, happened to be the largest producer of mineral water, Rwenzori mineral water. So what were the lessons for me out of that? You need to think outside of the box. Everything that comes into your office that appears to be crazy, you should never disregard it. In fact, sometimes the crazy ideas are what makes the world much better than it is. So from that time, I like to apply the crazy ideas. If you look at all my history, especially my management history, you'll find that I like kids who are thinking outside of the box. I like to throw things. I hate to find something and not want to change it. I believe that you can never achieve perfection, even if something is working. In fact, for me, if something ain't broken, it needs to be fixed.